Hey everybody, it's Brandon, the Weekend Cruiser, where I go on a weekend cruise just about every weekend. And this past weekend, I was on or am on Virgin Voyages Scarlet Lady. Now, their floor plans are a lot different here than your traditional cruise lines, which I'm really enjoying, but I wanted to give you a tour of what their Deck 7 and Deck 6 look like, where they have all of their shops, some restaurants, and really the hustle and bustle. If you are a Royal Caribbean cruiser, this is where the promenade traditionally would be, something that I'm kind of missing a little bit. It doesn't have that large open field that you get with a promenade, but it is still a beautiful area, and I'm excited to give you the tour. So I am starting all the way at the forward section of the ship. So you will see that this is flanked by the Red Room, which is their, I'll call it a multi-purpose theater. It actually has a couple of different configurations to it, which has been really neat. So I'll make some more information about that. You're then gonna have over here the groupie. So if you are a karaoke fan, I know I've seen many of you at the Starlight Lounge on Royal Caribbean, but this is where you're gonna come for your private group sessions. Now, I don't know if they charge extra for this. I have not seen, but it is the classic style where you come in and you have a microphone. You've got your own sound list. You can see the couch. Maybe it's a little dark in here. There we go. Looks like it's lightening up. But you can have the full experience of having your own karaoke room, a private karaoke room, which I think would be a ton of fun. I've only done it once ever in Boston, and I really enjoyed it. Now, as you'll see from that hallway, it does not connect back to the rear section or the aft section of the ship, so you do have to come towards the other direction to be able to cut through. Again, you're gonna have the Red Room flanked up here. This is the balcony section of the Red Room, if you will. They don't truly have a balcony, but if you come in here, you can walk down versus walking up in the theater style setup. You then are gonna have the Sip restaurant. So they are doing high tea, or getting ready for high tea at this point. This is a very sophisticated lounge, great place to come and hang out. But on sea days, they do a high tea, and I think there's an additional $25 charge for that. But I'll see if they have any of the food out for it. But it looks like a wonderful time. They clearly are pushing the champagne at these events, but it would be a very, very good time. I saw some of them here the sea day prior, and it looked wonderful. One thing that I've been very impressed with on Virgin Voyages is how nice everything looks. This is definitely a sophisticated, upgraded experience than what I'm accustomed to on Royal Caribbean. You will see that all of the furniture looks fantastic, looks comfy, and they're really doing a good job of promoting socialization and having people be able to hang out with each other. It is also a sea day today, so we're gonna see a little bit more people, but it is probably, the ship is only around 30% capacity. It is not that terribly full, so that's why I went ahead and decided to film today, knowing that there's not that many people on the ship in the first place. This is at noon, since I was just talking about high tea. So you're gonna see a few more getting lunch, walking around, but not too terribly bad. Over here on the left, you're gonna have the Get Lost desk. This is their next cruise, or where you can book your next cruise. They always have some great promotions that are going on. So if you wanted to book some of those, you could. Over here, you're gonna have Shore Things. This is the Shore Excursion desk. So if you're looking at doing something on shore, and they also do a lot of events on the land as well, or excuse me, on the ship, I should say, that is where you'll come to do that. This is the roundabout, so very similar to a Centrum or something you may see on some other ships. This is Virgin's take on the Centrum. They do a live morning show down here, which I think is pretty cool, down at the bottom during the day, but that's where they'll do a lot of their events. They'll have music and bands. And I'm gonna cut back this way just to show you the vinyl station. So they do have a vinyl shop here. If you're looking at buying a few of these, you'll see this. This is also where your DJ is going to be hooked up and playing for Embarkation Day. So as soon as you walk on board for Embarkation Day, you're going to hear the DJ pumping out his beats. And I must say that I have really enjoyed the DJ on this ship. The music that he's playing is more my style kind of music. It hasn't been Sweet Caroline and, you know, the cruise ship classic line dance songs that are out there. It has been more modern day hip hop, R&B, things that I really like. You've got the tap room over here. So this is where you're gonna come if you wanna grab a nice beer. They've got tons of options for you. See if I can get the glare off the cabinet there just to show you what all they offer, but if you are a beer drinker, this is where you're going to want to come. They've got great outside space as well, so you can start to see that through the windows here. On deck 7, they've got some really good spaces to be able to hang out. I've enjoyed going out there. The couches are very comfortable, especially in the afternoon when I have come over here to Lick Me Till I Scream, the ice cream shop that is on the ship. This is a great place to come. They've got a few flavors that you can check out, but if you want to get this and then head outside, that is a great way to enjoy it in some shade or in some sun, and it is all complimentary when you come onto the ship. You don't have to pay extra for their ice cream. So I'll quickly give you a tour outside because I think this is one of my more favorite parts of the ship. Whoop, heavy door. And you can see that this is a great quiet escape. Good seating, good breeze here, which I can't say that the pool has had a great breeze, but you've got some places you can lay out, lounge around, and it is a good spot for reading as well. But this does continue. The location you see next to there is going to be the pizza parlor. So I'll come and show you the pizza parlor as well. One thing you'll find on deck 7, that is where all of their restaurants really are housed, are deck 7 and deck 6. And they're all complimentary. So they feel like specialty restaurants. The food is certainly an upgraded experience, but they are all included in the purchase of your cruise fare. You've then got the pizza place. So if you want to come in and order a pizza for yourself, I know that every cruise line kind of specializes in having their own pizza. This is going to be the spot for you. Again, it is right at noon, so we're going to see a few people in here, but it shouldn't be too terribly bad. Nice seating areas inside, but more importantly, they've got beautiful seating areas outside, which is why I am on the ship. Good food options, and they're going to hand make each one of these for you. So they are personal pan pizzas, if you will, that they're going to put together and make. And they have a list up here at the front that I can quickly show you what the options are going to be. But you've got the classic white truffle and egg, chicken pesto, pretty fly for a white pie. You will also see a lot of creative names on the Scarlet Lady or on Virgin Voyages ships. You've already seen the Lick Me Till I Scream. You've got, you know, the pretty fly for a white pie, I should say. So they try to be a little bit creative with all of their names. So there's a lot of jumping around. So this is back to where the roundabout would be. The cruise ship to me has felt a little disconnected with everything, or it's taken me a while to adjust to not having one central promenade. But I have certainly, I think, figured it out at this point. Finding maps on the ship is also impossible. So you will have some directional signs to kind of help you out a little bit, but this is the best you're going to do on where you want to go or what you are looking for. You then come into what is, of course, my favorite place, is the Grounds Club. This is your coffee shop, which is not included in your cruise fare. So if you get anything from here, you are paying an additional cost for it, which you all know that I love my iced Americano in the morning. That is something I am missing from being on Royal Caribbean, is my drink coupons. So I've never had to pay for a coffee on Royal in years. And I am having to do that on this ship, which I don't mind. I'd still rather pay that than not have my coffee. It is a good trade-off to make for the $5 because I am a much nicer person after spending that $5 than not spending that $5. You've also got your gaming section here. So this is a pop-up game section. You can rent or take any of this information out. I'll give you a tour of the sign here. So they've got all sorts of activities that are going to be going on the ship that you can also attend. You see all these people are playing games here on the ship. This is I think they serve food in here as well, but it's more of a quick to go or take out kind of place. I'll cut through here just to show you what's on the other side, because there's another restaurant over here. There's a lot of hallways that don't really connect here. So I can come this way, but I gotta go back the way that I just came. So this is the Loose Cannon. So there are a lot of tucked away restaurants and bars, so make sure you are checking them all out. Great views of the outside here as well. And then down at the other end, you're gonna have your arcade. So no kids on this ship. Once again, it is 18 plus, so these are all for the adults. If you want to save a little bit of money and not lose probably as much as you would in the casino, that is a great place to hang out to still get a little bit of your gaming fix. Coming back around, you see that there is another hangout spot or lounge area. The ship is extremely loungy. I think that that's probably my nickname for it, is the lounge ship. Everywhere you go, there is another space to lounge at, which is pretty cool to me. I like that environment, I like that feeling, and the chairs have been extremely comfortable. Coming down now, you're gonna enter into the social club. So this is one of the hangout spots on the ship. Again, very loungy area. They're gonna have a little bit of food that you can get here. You're gonna have drink service that you can order, but it's just got like a Havana social club style atmosphere to it. You can cut through to the bar on the other end. They've got a little stage here. I've not seen anybody performing on that stage just yet, but this is a pretty cool spot for it. And then you're gonna have the Wake, which has so far been my favorite restaurant on the ship, where you can walk down, have beautiful views of the wake of the ship. There's also 3 elevators. So I'm not sure if you all noticed it, but there are forward, mid, and aft elevator banks that you can take here. So instead of giving you a tour of the wake, I'm gonna come over here. This is the other side of the social club, so you see that that did actually connect. But this is gonna take us outside to the dock, which is probably my favorite place on the cruise ship. You've got a neat little juice bar over here. And one thing that they do that I like on the Scarlet Lady is they have grab and go containers. So first of all, these are not one-time use plastic. They are tougher plastic, so they can reuse those. But they do have them so you can just grab them and take them with you, especially out here to eat if you want. So this is one of my more favorite sections because it's a little tucked away. It's very quiet, but there's always plenty of seating. There's comfortable seating and things to do out here as well. This is at the very aft section of the ship, so you see the ship's wake directly on the other side. And they actually have food in here too. So the way that you get food at this location is you see this little handle here, you're gonna press down on that. It's gonna give you the ahoy flag, and that's gonna let them know that you want to come or that you want somebody to come and take your order. I'm just gonna see if I could turn that. Let's see if I can show you all the menu here real quick. Just to show you what all is on here, a few options. If you want to pause your screen, I'm gonna go quickly through this. And they had some food, so when I came on for embarkation day, I was able to get some grilled octopus. There was a goat cheese salad and hanger steak salad, or just normal hanger steak, all on the menu. On embarkation day, I was expecting to have hot dogs and hamburgers from the Windjammer or something equivalent, but that has not been the case here. You've also got another bar over here to take care of all those thirst needs that you may be having. So again, this is probably my favorite space. They've even got the umbrellas for when the sun does shine on this side, but that does not happen too terribly often because it's just in a very shady kind of environment. And if you continue walking, you'll see that the ship does have, walking paths on the left and the right, or the port and the starboard side of the ship. There's some random chairs throughout here on deck 7 that you can sit in to relax and entertain. These don't have the best views, but if you really want to squirrel away and go somewhere neat, this is a great option for you to go to. All right, everyone, let's head down to deck number 6 and see what is there. So I just made an amateur move. I came down to deck 6 at the aft part of the ship, and it doesn't connect. So I've got to go back up and walk over to get to deck 5. This is the only location it's one of the locations, I guess, where you can get to the Wake restaurant, but that is absolutely it. It goes nowhere else. All right, so I am now at deck 6, Midship. So you'll see that there's a cut through there, but I'm gonna walk you through some of the stores and show you what all is here. This is where you're gonna find more shopping and a few more restaurants. The shops have felt very nice to me. The lighting on them is very good, and I've even enjoyed some of the products that they're sailing. Not that I've bought anything other than 2 different ship models, which I think are beautiful, something that I collect, and I'll show you those on the other side. But over here, you've got the test kitchen, is why I'm coming this way, is to show you the test kitchen through there. So I'm not going to do a full tour that I'm sure they're setting up for dinner at this point, but a lot of the hallways here kind of end in one of their specialty restaurants. So you kind of got to know where you're going or you're going to hit a dead end. You've got the jewelry store over here on the right. And even more items if you want to come over here and buy some Marc Jacobs, the tote bag merchandise, or maybe you want to get some makeup, you have that option over here as well. Luckily, this hallway does cut back to the roundabout, so we are now 1 level down at the roundabout. So this is where you'll have jazz, got some musicians playing. Oh, good timing on that. And that's a good section with a large bar on the other end of it. Over here, you're going to have more of your high-end jewelry with Bulgari, I think is the correct way to say that. And then you're going to have your watches over here, very similar to most, though they do carry some different lines. Here is one of the ship models. So they have a crystal ship model that I thought was pretty awesome. They have a lot of Virgin merchandise. I'm not really going to be buying a lot of that, but you all know that I do love the ship model. So I got the gray one and the crystal one because that should go with my crystal block collection from Royal Caribbean. Not sure if it's really going to go with it or not, but I thought it was a cool concept. So I did get that. And then you've got a few more stores back here. This is going to be your general merchandise store, so if you do need some medication, you want some munchies, some snacks, you left your power cord, that's going to be where you're going to come to get that. And over here you've got Extra Virgin. So this is going to be the Italian restaurant. So if you're looking for good Italian food, that's where I ate last night. It was fantastic and very, very good. So I certainly enjoyed eating there. I'm just going to call out this shirt here on the left because I really like it. But the price tag on this is a little bit out of my range at $200 for a shirt. Like, I just can't see myself doing that. That's like an entire weekend cruise. Coming over here, you're going to have the barber shop. So if you're, or dry dock, I guess just to call it. It's not a barber shop per se, but more of a blow dry out place for the ladies. You're going to have your makeup store. So if you're looking to get your makeup, have some things done, you can do that. And you've got the stubble and groom, which is going to be the actual barber shop. So you see that that does have a men's flair to it. Love how they have the seat over there facing the ocean. So that is a great view while you're getting your haircut. And over here, you're going to have their port merchant or duty-free shop. So this is where you're going to find the duty-free items that you don't have to pay taxes on. Hello. And then you're going to have the ever so popular Squid Ink Tattoo Parlor, which stays pretty booked up. So if you want to get a tattoo on a cruise ship, you do have traveling tattoo artists that come through here. Make sure you're signing up well in advance because they do sell out. And if you want to get something special, you know that that's going to take a little bit of time. All right, so the next section is the casino. Directly on the other side of it, I'm not going to cut through the casino because they don't always appreciate filming in there. But on the other, well, actually, I'll just go ahead and take you to the other side. All right, so we're now back at the forward section of the ship. This is the main entrance for the Red Room, but I wanted to point out right beside of the casino cashier, there is a mysterious door that you can walk through, and this is going to take you to an inside smoking area. So it took me a while to find this because it is extremely hidden, but if you want to come in here, grab a cigarette, tuck away for a little bit, this is a great spot where you can come, smoke, enjoy some views. It's also more well lit than the other section of the casino. There are some games in here as well, including some video pokers, and you can hear probably the piggies going behind me. So I'm again at deck 5, so I've now gone from 7, 6 to 5, and I want to get to guest services, or sailor services here as they call us. And to do that, you see that these are stateroom corridors. So I got to cut through the stateroom corridors to get to the midship section. So let's go along. And once you get to the end of the hallway, you'll see that you come to an open with love sign. There are people normally on the other side of this door. You can go through it, but make sure you do that gently to step into sailor services. This is your guest services. They call us sailors here. This is where you're going to go if you lose your lanyard like I have done, or your room access. You can also pick up a glance at the day. So these are, their cruise compass, if you will, letting you know of all the activities that are going on throughout the ship. I would still recommend probably pulling that up on your phone. Again, you see another lounge or waiting section here. And you're going to have Pink Agave, another one of their restaurants here. That is the Mexican Flair restaurant. So if you're looking for solid Mexican food, I have not been there yet. I think it may be on the docket for tonight. That is going to be a solid place to check out. Luckily, I've never seen too much of a line here at Sailor Services. I don't know if that means everybody's just doing really well, but there's not too terribly many of us on this actual ship. So that probably could be part of it. See this stairwell here? One thing that bothers me, and I don't know if it does you guys or not, but the metal openings here. I just keep picturing somebody falling and having their arm get stuck directly inside of that. Here is going to be your vegetarian forward restaurant called Razzle Dazzle. So I have eaten here for dinner as well as for brunch, and it is a fantastic location for food. And so I'll probably wind up doing a food review later, which I'll try to link here if I remember it. But this is a great option to come for brunch. And I'm pretty hungry. It's 12:30 now and I've not eaten, so I might come down and see if I can do that. There's not many people on this ship, so you don't necessarily need a reservation, but if you pull it up on your phone, you can still do a reservation for the exact time that you want to go. So if I wanted one for now, I can do a reservation for this time at 12:30, and we should be fine. But you'll see, this also connects over to the spa is the only thing that you're gonna see there. You've got the restaurant here on the left, and guest services and Pink Agave over on the right. That is the only place you can get to from this particular section. So that is Voyages Scarlet Lady's common spaces on this ship, which as you can see are sophisticated, they're modern, they're definitely an upgraded experience to what I am accustomed to. The only frustration is I have found myself in dead-end hallways more than I care to count with, just a hallway just ending or not being able to get there from here kind of situations going on. But luckily that was day 1 or day 2. I feel like now on day 3, I'm finally starting to get the hang of it and really looking forward to walking around this ship more. It is a beautiful ship just to take it in, stop and lounge in a few areas. All right, everyone, this is Brandon, the Weekend Cruiser. Hoping to see you on a Weekend Cruise soon.